everybody. It's Natalie Bencivenga. How are you doing today? It's kind of a dreary day here in Pittsburgh. I was actually at the Veg Fair earlier in Point Breeze. If you get a chance to stop by, they had all these great vegan food trucks and lots of vendors inside. It was a lot of fun. And, you know, I love learning about new things that are happening in our region, especially ones that uplift and support the arts and our youth voices. Pennsylvania Humanities' Rain Poetry Project debuted in Philadelphia in 2023 to kick off the organization's 50th anniversary, and the haiku workshops and art installations are now underway here in the Pittsburgh region. I'm so excited to talk about this because I love poetry, and as a kid, I couldn't get enough of it, and I still can't get enough of it. I love learning about new poets and finding ways to express myself in that space. And here to talk about it with me is Dawn Frisby Byers, the Senior Director of Content and Engagement for Pennsylvania Humanities. Dawn, how are you today?
I'm fine, and thank you so much for having me on.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to have you. Can you share with our listeners, if they may not know, what is the PA Humanities?
Thank you. PA Humanities is a nonprofit that really champions the humanities, particularly the human connections. We're affiliated with the National Endowment of the Humanities, and we're one of 56 state humanities councils across the country. And our work in Pennsylvania really centers on the growth, equity, and community as a pathway to positive and lasting change.
I love that. How did you find your way into this work?
You know, Natalie, I was always one of those kids who was drawn to arts and culture.
Yeah.
And I believed when someone told me that if you love what you do, it will never feel like work. So I decided to forge a career in the arts and culture world. I've had the most amazing career and have worked for organizations like Sesame Street and the Apollo Theater and even the Grammys throughout the country. And now I find myself here back in Philadelphia, my hometown, getting to work on really cool projects like Rain Poetry as I oversee the communications and programs for PA Humanities.
That's awesome. And let's talk a little bit more about this with the kids and their involvement, specifically in this haiku workshop and the art installation workshops. Why haiku?
You know, haiku is poetry, but it's structured.
Yeah.
And I think when you teach kids the haiku structure, 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables, it gives them the creativity and the means to express themselves in a very specific way.
I love that. And let's talk a little bit more about the art installations that are going to be happening here around the Pittsburgh region. What neighborhoods are participating?
So we're working with 3 neighborhoods, Garfield, Northview, and Homewood. And in each neighborhood, we partnered with a community organization who works with kids, and they helped us organize the workshops and the installations. So we brought in a teaching artist, and kids learned the art of writing a haiku and were able to create their own based on different themes. I'm really happy to say that we worked with 3 different age groups, from elementary school through high school, and their creativity was just really just amazing. I loved reading what came out of the workshop.
Well, I did too. I got to read a few of the samples, and one of the young poets, Miko, a 5th grader who goes to Assemble in Garfield, which was one of my favorite organizations in the city. Little shout out to Assemble and Nina. They wrote their haiku, and it reads, "What will the future bring? Nobody will know till then. I hope it is nice." I just loved that. How has this impacted the children working on this project with them?
You know, I think it gives, as I said, it gives them the opportunity to think creatively within a space of haiku and a space within the themes. And for us, we wanted to introduce kids, in many cases, to the art of haiku poetry, and to really drum up a couple of points. One is that learning happens everywhere. It just doesn't happen in a classroom. And 2, your creativity is your own, and expressing yourself is completely up to you. So there's no right or wrong answers. It's just a celebration of creativity. I will say that we started, thinking about this project years ago because we did a statewide program called the Kindness Poem in 2021, where we sent out messages of kindness. PA Humanities sent out messages of kindness on social media every 2 weeks. It could have been a line from a poem or a title of a song, anything that had to do with kindness. And we asked people to send us their messages of kindness. And at the end, we were able to create an original poem called Kindness Lives Here that was actually read on the PA State Capitol floor last year as a celebration of kindness and poetry.
I love that. So let's talk about the sidewalks and sort of the surprising element around these haikus.
Yeah, now we're actually going to get to the rain part of rain poetry, right? The poems will be installed on the sidewalks or any clear surface, cement clear surface at Mandela Peace Park in Garfield is our first installation. Poems will be installed with a special magic paint that really you can't see it until it gets wet. So that's the rain part of the tree. We're actually hoping that it doesn't rain on May 8th, which is when we're doing the installation, because we want the kids to actually be able to reveal them itself.
That's amazing. If people want to learn more about PA Humanities or more about this project, Dawn, where can they go? Well,
pahumanities.org/rain poetry. You'll find information about the rain poetry sites in Pittsburgh and in Philly. And next up is Johnstown. We're taking this across the state. And I do want to say one thing. All of the poems that are written in Pittsburgh will be gathered into a book that will be called Rain Poetry Pittsburgh. And we will have that book available this summer.
That's fantastic. Dawn, thank you so much for joining me in conversation with, and I look forward to having you on again soon.
Thank you very much. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you. The great Maya Angelou once said, poetry is a powerful tool for healing, growth, and transformation. And I can't get enough of that, and I can't get enough of what PA Humanities is doing.